All right, we are joined by Purdue University head coach Matt Painter, Jaden Ivey, and Eric Hunter Jr. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Painter, then we'll go to questions for the students, then we'll come back to questions for Coach Painter. So, Coach, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, it was obviously a really good college basketball game. How they can do different things on their third day from a defensive standpoint, I still don't know. I just asked him, and I still don't understand what he said. But the ability to change and mix things up to try to keep us off balance, was genius. I thought it was just, for our guys, just trying to get them to be simple and just move and pass the ball so they don't try to overdo things. And then once we started doing that, we started getting more open looks and better looks. And but they're a good team, and trying to piece things together in your first year is really hard to do, especially when everybody is new to you. But you can kind of see how he strengthened our program. And Penn State obviously made a great hire, and they're difficult to go against. I knew the start of the game was going to be that way, just because we've had the double bye every year, and it just seems like the people that get a chance to play a game or two games and get into that second or third game, and they seem to have an advantage to start. But I thought our guys were really resilient. I thought they hung in there, kept making plays, did a lot of good things. And probably the player of the game for us was Brandon Newman. It's a great sign. It's very difficult. I told our guys in our locker room, we got one guy that didn't play who's, in my opinion, will be an all-conference player for us at some point in his career. I got another guy that played 8-9 minutes that he was a really good player. And it's just hard. I want to start him and play him all 40 minutes. It's just not the way it works. And that's kind of part of making sacrifices and being on a great team. But our guys hung in there and played hard, did a lot of little things, and grinded it out. I think that was a question for this team as the season went on, is can we grind it out? And I think they proved it on a neutral court that they can do that and not just simply outscore somebody.
Start with questions for the students. We'll start with Mike Carmen in the middle.
Yeah, Mike Carmen, Lafayette Journal-Courier for Jaden and Eric. Just the moment that Brandon had tonight and just the work that he's continued to do in practice. Just how do you feel? What's your emotions like seeing what he did?
Shoot, as his roommate, you just love it for a guy like that. I'm not gonna say I knew that was gonna happen, but I could feel something. When he first got in the game, he just told me he was locked in. So from there on out, you saw Trey find him early, get him going, and a dude like that only needs to, see one go in. So
We'll go to the back middle to Bill.
This is a question for Jaden. Jaden, can you talk a little bit about what this arena and this building means both to you and your family, and what the weekend could hold for you and your family with what's going to happen starting tomorrow?
This is for real home. Obviously my mom, she's been here, played with the Fever, and as a young boy, I can remember, coming in here, and it's just a great, atmosphere to be in, and it's just a blessing, to be able to play here.
We'll go in the middle, right-hand side.
Dan Angel, Pittsburgh Sports Now. Jaden, the steal and layup in the final minute to essentially put it away. What did you see on that play to get to the ball first there and break free?
That's just all out hustle. I knew we had to, get that, rebound. And it was a one man on the fast break, so I knew I could get to my bag and try to help my team win.
We'll go to Brian in the middle, left-hand side.
For Jaden, you really kind of took off after you came back in the game after. You got me?
Where you at? My fault.
Left-hand side.
Me. Sorry.
You really kind of took off there when you came back in. Was there something you had to kind of learn about the way this game was going to be played, or anything like that after that first turn through?
I think I just had to settle into the game a little bit. It just took me a little bit to get going, and once I settled in the game, I felt good, and most importantly, though, we got the win, over, a great, Penn State team, and, they're very tough, team to play. So, I'm just happy that we got the win, and, looking forward to tomorrow and, tough test in Michigan State.
We'll go to Kyle on the far right side.
Kyle with Sports Report Media. Eric, question for you. I saw you running off the floor, point at Brandon, and I don't know who was more excited, you or Brandon coming off there, but what does he mean to this program? I mean, there's so many guys that come through here. I don't think I've heard the fans excited, since Tommy days that, he got in, but what does he mean to this team? Because he hasn't got much playing time recently, but just really came through tonight.
Brandon Newman means a lot to this team. Excuse me. It means a lot. He's obviously a good player. We've seen it before. We saw it again today. But I think he's just the staple of what we're about as far as just guys always being in the gym, staying ready no matter when. You don't know when your time is. I don't know how many games ago was the last time he got in. But just to have a performance like that in the postseason, you just know a guy like that was just staying ready.
We'll go to the left-hand side in the middle.
Dylan Sin from the Journal-Gazette for either of you guys, whoever wants to take it. You guys, they had it cut to 1 with about 2.5 minutes left. You guys called timeout. What did you guys say in that timeout? Because you came out and scored the last 7 points.
Jaden.
Basically, we just had to, figure out a way to win. I think that was the biggest thing down the stretch was, we've been in situations like that before, and it was just, I had to figure out a way to win and, staying poised and, just, running with the coaches say on offense and, then on defense, it was just trying to get stops and, just try to finish the game and win.
We'll take 2 more for the students. We'll go to the back corner, Steve.
Eric Hunter. Trayvion's really seen the floor really well. He's been seeing the floor for a while now really well. How prepared are you when he whips that ball across to you for that shot? And I know that you got some screens in there too to work off of too. But talk about a little bit about how Trayvion's really seeing the floor right now.
I've been playing with him for a long time now, and I think I learned early. Sometimes I even get caught not being ready because he just whips it. But you just really got to be ready. We all know it. Coaches say it. Whenever he's on that block, that's his game. He likes to pass the ball. So. You just really got to stay ready because it's coming.
Brian, go ahead.
They missed their last 7 shots, closed scoreless the last 2:39. What was the key to getting those stops there to finish the game out?
I thought say that again. I think it was just a team effort. I think we all did our part. I think this is probably one of the better games we had, just talking to each other on defense. Even though it was loud in there, this is probably the best we did as far as just communicating with each other and trying to be on the same page as much as we can as possible.
All right, you guys can head back to the locker room. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll continue with questions for Coach Painter. We'll start up here with Kevin in the front row. We'll work our way around.
Yeah, Kevin Brockway, CNHI. Coach, how much was the 12-2 start a factor of what you said earlier about Coach Shrewsbury changing things up, or was there an energy factor, or how do you kind of explain the start?
Yeah, it's probably a combination of a lot of things, just the fact that they've played, a couple games. It seems like, not always, and just, more familiar with the surroundings, more familiar, playing. And they make, good plays. They had to make some shots in there. We had a couple guys fly at shooters instead of just getting a regular closeout, and they ended up hitting a couple threes and got going. We had a couple good looks early, but then we turned it over early. We had 10 turnovers for the game, but we probably had 4 of them in that first 4 or 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it was just a combination of that. We just had to, like Jaden said, we just had to settle into the game. But I think it was just a combination of them playing well, already playing, and us, not giving ourselves a chance for some of those turnovers.
We'll go to Brian in the middle, second row.
Matt, what do you think has kept Brandon engaged? Well, he's obviously been a very ambitious kid. I'm sure this was very difficult for him here the last couple of weeks. Did you sense he was capable of this when his time finally came and all that stuff?
Yeah, well, sure. I think he's capable. He's on our team. It's just you get and you play, 20 games of the season, and then someone has struggled in a role, and he struggled in the same role last year after, we took him out of the starting lineup. And so, like, are you better off as a team given those minutes that he would get to somebody else? Because when you split minutes and, like, if you play 8 to 10 minutes, it's really hard to be functional I like giving them in chunks instead of like playing 8 to 10 minutes and subbing in 4 times and playing 2 minutes at a time, if I can. It doesn't circle around them. You want that as a player. You want it to circle around you. Now, when it does circle around you, like with Zach and Travion and Jaden, now who fits in with those guys? A lot of people that are close to those people, they will look at it just from the perspective of that person. They're not looking at it the perspective from the team. So he just struggled in that role. But if he played more and he was more of a focal point, then he would have more success. But Sasha Stefanovic, Jaden Ivey, they're pretty good players. And so, like, Klein was probably the best at that while he backed up Carson and Dakota in that stretch for 2 years. And he was a starter for us. He would finish some games for us. But he was probably the best. He could play in that role, and then obviously he proved that he was a starter too, and he could play 30 minutes in that role too. Brandon hasn't gotten there today. Today was perfect. It was a little bit of a combination of having a bigger guard out there too, guarding those guys. They back you down and they get to the rim and they do stuff, and I think that really helped us. Then obviously his ability, if they were going to play the junk defense, his ability to make an open shot too. But he's worked really hard. He's used our guys, used our coaches. He comes in every single day. He gets extra lifts. He shoots extra, and that's how you play well. When you're frustrated, I just told our guys, like, besides the best players on our team, I know how everybody feels. I know the frustrations. I know where it is. So for him to be able to come out and be productive, you got to tip your hat to him. It was a great performance, and we don't win that game without him.
Let's go in the middle on the right-hand side.
Coach, Keem Gillespie, Indy Star. Jaden's ability to kind of play the passing lane and again jump the pass and get those steals and turn it into 2 the other way. What does it say about him as a defender, and how much energy and just kind of motivation does that give the team when he's able to just switch the momentum like that with those plays?
Yeah, he's so fast when he gets in some of those plays, especially kind of the 1-on-2, 1-on-3s. For most people, you really want him to pull that out. The numbers aren't there, but he can go by people to create numbers for himself. I thought he got hit when he got that foul. When he got that steal at the end, he got hit at the end again, and he just kind of played through it. But that was I used to always try to get Carson Edwards to put the brakes on in those plays, and he never listened to me. It was like kind of running through the third base coach sign, the stop sign. So I don't even try with Jaden. But he makes a lot of those plays right there, and that was a huge play. That was a huge play in the game to be able to get it to 2 possessions and get that stop. But he's a talented guy. Like, he can, you need angles to make plays when the ball's loose in the open court, and a lot of times, he creates his own angles. He would be a really good free safety, just because he can track people down. He can be out of a play and get back into a play.
We'll go to the back middle. Bill?
Coach Painter, you and Michigan State, obviously Tom and yourself, the longest tenured coaches in the conference. Many, many matchups, many memorable moments.
Right.
Tomorrow, likely another one. What moments from the rivalry stick out to you, and what do you think the rivalry, you have lots of rivalries, but what do you think this particular rivalry means to both programs?
Well, from our perspective, they're the ones that went to the Final Fours and we haven't, and so they're the flagship program of our conference. So that's how we've always looked at it. If you want to be that team, you want to win our league, you want to advance in the NCAA tournament, you got to be able to compete with them and be able to beat them. And obviously this year we didn't beat them, and they were 1 possession better than us, and now we get a chance to go back and compete again with them. But no, we got a lot of respect for them. We got a lot of respect for, just their program. They're blue collar. There's nothing cute about it. They're going to come at you. They're going to defend. They're going to play. They're going to play the right way. They have depth. He always has depth. And, you got to be hooked up or they'll embarrass you. So it'll be a good Big Ten matchup. But we got to play better. We play really good in spurts. We got to be more consistent. We weren't very consistent when we played them the first time, and a lot of that had to do with them.
We'll finish with Kyle on the right-hand side.
Hey, Matt, it's late at night, quick turnaround for the game tomorrow. How does that brutal stretch that you guys had with all those games and those practices help prepare your guys right now for that quick turnaround?
Yeah, just move to the next game. You know, it's great that we won. We're very fortunate to win. You know, Penn State was great, and we went through a lot. You know, we had 23 straight days without a day off. We had the second longest stretch in our league, too. We had 16 days off without a day off. You know, we played a lot of 9 o'clock games this year. You know, we played a lot of the people going to the NCAA tournament twice. Not all of them, but I think we probably had to play the most or second most of anybody in our league. So, you know, we're prepared, but they're prepared too. You know, they go through a gauntlet of their own, and everybody kind of has that. So that's what this league does. But you know, you still got to show up. You got to show up and play, and we got to be more. Like I said earlier, we got to be more consistent.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Appreciate everybody. We'll see some of you tomorrow. Safe travels back for those of you who are departing.